page 36 of Days of Destiny. This is titled The Sixth Thunder. As it is seen presently, mankind is coming into an experience where we all have to deal with the dilemma of making distinct choices on how life will be upon this plane. We are about to realize that, in fact, thought does manifest the nature of reality, and that we are not the only form of intelligent life in the universe. We will either come to terms with our raging emotions and random thought projections, or face total annihilation of the species, as well as the environment that sustains our life forms here on planet Earth. Today, I'm going to interject. Hi all. A bobcat crossed my path. Normally I would be very excited, but immediately I could tell this young cat was in distress. He was panting, dehydrated, and starving. This couldn't be more true. Is this what we've picked for ourselves? No. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to quit loving and riding the emotional storms individually as well as collectively. I do not consent to giving up. Keep going. A book by Joseph M. Marshall, different book as I interject. This is September 17th of 2020. And the book that I speak of is titled Keep Going. It's the art of perseverance, and that must be applied daily. Oh, in this time and no time. But the bobcat. Bobcats don't expose themselves. The behavior of this cat. And I was listening to Don McLean's song, Bye Bye Miss American Pie. It was all too surreal. But bobcats are, they symbolize the secrets and hidden things that are hidden, silence and secrets. They're cycles of power, late winter and spring. And typically bobcats, separative, their symbolism in medicine, they do not like being seen. This cat couldn't hide itself. It was unwell. It's suffering. It's suffering because we aren't doing enough. We aren't thinking enough. We aren't creating enough. Like it's 144. Yeah, 144,000, which equals 9, because if you add the 4 plus 4 together, plus 1 is 9. I'm terrible at math, so I may have gotten that wrong, believe it or not, simple math, but that's the way the brain works. And yeah, I don't know, take what you will with what I just rambled on about. But I'm going to continue reading Days of Destiny. It's the Sixth Thunder. I'd prefer not to, but I have to. I'm reading with you. Ghost Wolf continues. We can either succumb to the present matrix, which will evolve into implemented programs of complete enslavement of the human consciousness, and is corrupted program at every level of expression. It is caught in a cyclical pattern that seems to endlessly lead us back to self-destruction. Or Humanity can choose to awaken and claim their heritage as living gods and take the responsibility necessary for being participants in a galactic universe. To some, this is a strong statement, radical at least, perhaps often offensive, and against everything people have learned to obey in the matrix of their allowed perception of reality. Break out of those boxes, I chime in. Come on. Some might even see the truth of it. This is the worst part. Some might even see the truth of it, yet they remained imprisoned in their fear, false evidences appearing real, and confusion, born of living a partial life. That's why you don't, in the middle is okay, hang out in the middle, but you have to choose. That's the gift. So, some might even see the truth of it, yet they remain imprisoned in their fear and confusion, born of living a partial life, where the only emotions they themselves have remaining are attached to denial, suffering, shame, and pain. They are helpless to effect change of any kind. They are caught in their own patterns, like an insect in a spider's web. There are some who would say this kind of thinking is lunacy, delusionary, and that Jesus will save them. They only have to give a little more to the church of extra unction. That word, I'll try it one more time. Extra unction just came out the same way. So, and get on a payment program for special deals. So basically just go to church every Sunday and you're good. You can do harmful things to other people intentionally, constantly, but you're saved on Sunday. I mean no disrespect to anyone who is a Christian or Muslim or whatever religion, you label or identify with, but it is something that has been used to divide us. See that. Please. Yes, there are those who do not appreciate free thought, and they come from all faiths, just as those who cherish free thought exist in all faiths. When you are insecure, this is how you respond to something that you do not understand. When you build your house upon sand, well, there are going to be foundation problems. It's a given. I would ask you, is it lunacy to choose a life based on divine principles, following the understanding of the universal masters, and following the pathway of divine love and compassion? Each one of us is responsible for our own journey. The choices we make and the acts we commit. No one saves us. At best, they can guide us to fulfill ourselves. Thank you, Ghost Wolf. And help us remember our life's mission and purpose. Thank you, Ghost Wolf. The Master Yeshua never left and is immortal to our reasoning. And the Christos is within all of us, existing as a potentiality. The realization and attainment of that potentiality is a choice. Just to choose yourself to allow the thought. And that's powerful. Harness that. And then, take up each individual. In a conversation I was having with a few, I would say, tribal members globally a few nights ago, someone had said something about it. They were trying to give an explanation about a visual of what it looks like. And, you get one person like floating in the water, right? And they're hanging out onto a board. Okay. And you get all the board, then another person comes along and that board links up to the other board. I can't describe it the way that this person so eloquently did. But I got the best visual, and it's when we stand together, we are strong, even if we're standing together in thought. Can you imagine how much more powerful that thought would be with heart, feeling? That's powerful. But you have to feel. And feeling hurts sometimes. Laugh and cry and keep going. Choice is a gift. The existence of free will is rare in this universe and was allowed to us as a species because of our divine origins. We are much more than we allow ourselves to think. Imagine everyone thinking and acting toward each other as Christ. I thought, if thought truly creates the nature of reality, and it does, then it is a potential reality that we, as a species, can achieve the measure of divine grace. Albert Einstein once said, if the thought exists, then it is already a reality in consciousness. E equals MC squared. If you think this is all such rhetorical lunacy, I ask you, is it lunacy to knowingly choose an existence of worshiping death and submitting to the necromancers whose only ability and talent lie in their capacity for living off the dreams and life force of others? I ask you, is it lunacy to live your entire existence enslaved to the matrix that only perpetuates cycles of self-destruction and denial of God and that God force within us? Is it lunacy to knowingly choose a pathway of existence riddled with fear, war, disease, and the deliberate imposed suffering and even death of millions for the sake of the amusement of a selected elitist group of materialistic vampires? Yeah, I don't think so. But I'm answering for myself here, right? He brings up some very valid stuff. You come across this, please don't mind the tone. It comes out sometimes. It's of aggressional tone. Angry, maybe, because I can read this and allow it to be anger when anger comes from pain. It's sad. Is it lunacy to think that we are experiencing is the climax of what it seems to have been, which is an eternal struggle between the light and the dark? A war of angels, perhaps? Is it possible we are experiencing the culmination of a humanity struggling for centuries to complete this experience with the concepts of mortality and limited existence. That we have been living upon a merry-go-round where every orthodox religion seems to be little more than cults, perpetuating dogmatic systems of mind control, designing our worship and our surrender to death. When a self-appointed few exercise their power to control the masses and keep them in deliberate states of ignorance, so the knowledge is known and coveted by only the select group. See, Bobcat couldn't hide earlier. That's an interesting, I'm gonna have to hone in on that. An omen, a message from nature. I'm interjecting, my bad. It's hard to read, but I have to. I'll repeat that one. When a self-appointed few exercise their power to control the masses and keep them in deliberate states of ignorance, so the knowledge is known and coveted by only the select group, it is called a tyranny. When the system of social conditions no longer supports the wishes of the people and the laws of the Creator, it becomes decadence. When this society, when that society manipulates every living structure created by its consciousness, from the treatment of the sick and less fortunate to the deliberate desolation of personal liberty for all of its people, that society is condemned by its own hand. When the structure, therefore, has created, engages in the deliberate destruction of universal truths and the wholesale destruction of the earth and its natural balance to such a degree that life as we know it can no longer be sustained, it is removed by that which gave it life. Mother Earth is gonna chuck us in the fuck it bucket, 'cause she can. It's awful, and we're choosing that. And I have to say we, because I'm connected. Everything is connected. I'm gonna continue. The sixth thunder. My cats are meowing. He meows. Me too. Me too, baby girl. There exists no structure, people, organization, or military force that will escape the universal laws of divine providence. For there is a higher order, a supreme source that will make its presence known, and that time is sooner in manifesting than we think. In fact, it is already occurring. There is no judgment. There is only choice and consequence. Consequence for our actions or non-actions. You hold the keys to your destiny in your hands. If only you knew the power you command, no one could ever enslave you again. In a moment, you could change the outcome of eternity. I am only the messenger. May great spirit, Wakantanka, be with you. And may the force be with you, my friends. Soon I will be reading the seventh thunder. Aho.